Hello guys! Welcome back po sa ating Lesson 8. And by the way, Happy New Year po everyone! Welcome 2022! I hope guys you are okay as you are watching this video tutorial. I know na maraming nagkasakit during the holiday season. So I am hoping that even though some of you may be feeling not better, pero sana ay gumaling din tayo agad, no? Just like me, medyo inuubo at sinisipon si ma'am, pero laban lang, sabi nga. So, without further ado, let us continue our discussion from the midterm period. So, I will not skip this because this lesson is very important part of our web dahil syempre dito yung foundation ng ating JavaScript programming. So, we will continue on JavaScript Array. Last time, natapos tayo sa pagdidiscuss ng switch case condition where we can use the case condition for multiple arguments wherein kapag kailangan na masatisfy ang isang condition pero magkakaiba yung result na pwedeng ilabas, we can use the switch case. So for now, what we're going to discuss is the JavaScript arrays. So for arrays, arrays are complex variables that allow us to store more than one value or a group of values under a single variable name. JavaScript arrays can store any valid value, including strings. So, yun yung combination ng letters, numbers, and special characters, of course. Numbers, objects, functions, and even other arrays, thus making it possible to create a more complex data structures such as an array of objects or an array of arrays. So, in creating an array, the simplest way to do that in JavaScript is enclosing a comma separated list of values in square brackets. So, sorry. Let me show you that example later on. So, let us continue um, with searching through an array. No? Later on, magkakaroon tayo ng, what do you call that? Examples in creating an array. So, for now, let us discuss first, how do we search through an array? If you want to search an array for a specific value, you can simply use the index of method and the last index of method. Now, if the value is found, both methods can return an index representing the array element. But if the value is not found, -1 is returned, meaning the index of method returns the first one that is found, whereas the last index of method returns the last one found. So that's how we search through an array. Now, let us go ahead and make a live demonstration of our array. So, in here, I will be using a Notepad++. Okay? So, Notepad++, open lang po natin. Hoy, makinig ka naman at ako yung nasa klase. Sigaw ka na sigaw dyan. Oo. Ito cellphone, mag-picture ka na lang. Anak, wag dito, wag dito. Nagle-lesson si mami. Oh my gosh. Okay, so guys, I'm sorry about that, no? Hindi ko na nagawang i-pause. So, let be that part of our recording. Mahirap kasi pagka ganito, live at merong ginaki sa tabi. Okay, so I am going to open a new file for HTML, and then, of course, we are going to start our first line with the doctype sorry, doctype tag. Doctype HTML, and then of course our HTML head, HTML tag, our head. So, lagay na lang natin for our title is title. Creating arrays in JavaScript. Okay? Then, of course, do not forget to close the title tag, the head, and then we start with our script tag since we are creating a JavaScript. Okay, so let's say, lagay ako dito ng comment, creating variables. So we will be declaring our variables using var keyword. Okay, by the way, before I proceed with the rest, let me save this file first, no? Para si Notepad++, ma-consider na niya or makita na niya na this is an actual HTML file. So I will be saving this as an array example. Example dot. Here, we don't need to do the .html. Meron naman na kasi ditong save as type, and we select hypertext markup language. So, array example, and we save it. Okay, now, let us continue with declaring our variables. So, for example, I'm going to create a series of arrays for colors. No? Colors is equals to, then just like any other programming languages, this is how we actually create an array in JavaScript. So we type in the square bracket, and then it's followed by since we're going to create a string, array of strings, so I will be using double quotation mark to enclose our first color, which is red, and then the second color, which is green, our third color, which is blue. Okay, so tama na muna tayo dun sa 3 elements. Now, do not forget to enclose this array of strings inside the square bracket, separated by comma, this one, and then inside the element, use the double quotation mark to declare the elements, the value of elements, and then end your statement with a semicolon. So next let's create another array. So this time it's gonna be fruits. Let's say apple, of course, the all-time favorite, banana. Okay, and then mango. So let's add some more, orange and papaya. Okay, and then we end with semicolon. So now, as you can see, we have already 2 arrays that has been created. We have the colors and the fruit. Both of them are array of strings. So we are gonna create another one, wherein I am going to show you that you can create array in JavaScript using, even though the data types are different. Now, we know that these elements that are enclosed in double quotation mark are arrays. Now, the person array that I have created will include array and a number. So, for example, I will be using this Andrea, and then here it's gonna be Yadosho, and then let's say I'll include my age, which is 32. So, there. So, ayan po. Nakapag-create na tayo ng array of strings and integer. So, now, what we're going to do is to print all of those arrays that we created. So, next po, ayan na po yung gagawin natin. Okay, so in printing variable values or the values of our array, what we're going to do is to use the document.write method, no? So this time, magpiprint na po tayo ng variable values. yung mismong array natin, na value nila. So, gamit po tayo ng document.write, and inside the parameter, yung ating, what do you call this? Colon, ano ba to? Braces or brackets ba yata ito? Kalimutan ko yung tawag. We are going to call the name of our array. So, in this case, tawagin muna natin yung colors. And then, magdadagdag ako dito ng line break. Concatenate natin yung line break para tawag dito, every values magkaroon naman ng line break, no? So, your line break should be enclosed in a double quotation mark. So, gagamitin lang natin yung same process dun sa next array natin. Since we do have different array variables, syempre, kailangan natin itong palitan. Now, kapag ganito yung way ng print natin ng variable values, we are actually calling the entire array, meaning what we are expecting here is to print all of the values inside that array. Paano naman mag-print kung ang gusto ko lang pong i-print ay a specific, what we call this, specific element. So now, if you are recalling the process of using array in your programming language, remember that each array has its own element. Ibig sabihin nag-i-start yung counting per element at nag-i-start yung counting by 0. So, for example, in the colors array, ang red natin is not 1, when it should be 0. So, ito yung 0 element mo, ito yung 1 element mo, or first element, and then yung blue is your second element. Now, if you call that, you need to specify and start counting from 0, hindi sa 1. So, that's how array works. Now, paano ma'am? For example, gusto ko po dun sa person array ko, ang tatawagin ko lang po is yung first or yung 0 element. Paano ko po siya gagawin? So, on that matter, you're gonna enclose the element number of your array inside the square bracket. So, for example, since si Andrea, yung ating first 0 element pala, sorry, yung ating 0 element, so that's also kind of confusing for me. I am going to write in 0. And then since isang lang naman to, isang value lang naman, I do not need to put like any line break here because it's not gonna make sense anymore since wala naman na siyang kasunod. So, that's it. Dito, tatawagin natin yung buong colors array. Dito naman yung ating fruits and then the first one. Now, let's go ahead and end our script tag. Of course, do not forget to, oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Nakalimutan ko maglagay dito ng body. So, yung ating body tag, close it. And then, lastly, the HTML tag. So, let's just hit the Control S button and then we go ahead and open the example on our web browser. So, kanina, isinave ko yung ating what do you call that? Our HTML file as array example. No? Okay, so I have the output here. I'm gonna show it to you guys. Now, our output here is going to be red, green, and blue. Now, what is wrong with our what is wrong with our code? Supposedly, hindi lang red, green, and blue yung tinatawag natin, no? So, nandito ulit tayo sa debugging process. So, I like these opportunities, yung nagkakaroon tayo ng problems, or not really problems, but the way that we expect the output is not showing. So, ito yung gusto ko na hindi siya lumalabas. Bakit ko siya gusto? Kasi I want you also to practice na paano naman kapag ganito, hindi ganito yung lumabas, dapat ganito yung lumabas. So, para mas maganda na i-debug natin siya. So, pangit naman kapag laging perfect agad sa example, tapos paano naman yun kung on our own, wala yung tulong ni ma'am at ni sir, paano po namin siya i-debug, paano po namin malalaman saan pong line kami nagkamali. So, now that we are already here, no? Ito, going back to the code, actually, very obvious naman yung error lang natin. Kasi, ang error lang natin is the name of the array. If you will notice, I'll go back to the output. So, red, green, blue is okay. It's showing on the screen. No, it's showing on the screen. However, the rest of the code, which is the fruits and the person, is not showing anymore. So, now, punta tayo dito. So, yung fruits natin, tinawag natin siya. However, the name of our variable is only fruit. So, ibig sabihin, we follow the name strictly. Kung void S, with S. Kung without S, then let it be without S. So, in this case, dinagdagan ko na lang ito ng S. Para pareho na ng colors, no? So, we have the fruits, then it should be okay. So, yun pa lang muna yung gagawin natin changes. Now, let me go back to the output and let's see if it has been fixed. And as you can see, when the line for the apple, banana, mango, orange, and papaya, actually, what do you call that? When it has been corrected, the next list of printing values has been shown already. So, which is Andrea. Remember that the last document.write method that we call is just one element, which is the 0 element, and that is Andrea. So, meaning, remember again, I will just remind it to you guys that we start counting our array elements from 0. So, yung Andrea yung 0, Chidosho is the first element, and then second is the 32 integer. So, that's how we create that's how we create our array in JavaScript. So, the next thing that I'm going to show you guys is how do we search through an array. Remember, no, a while ago I discussed to you the searching of elements in array. So, if you want to search an array for a specific value, you can simply use the index of and the last index of method. If you can recall, no. So, let me go back to the PowerPoint presentation. So, if the value is found, both methods return an index representing the array of elements, and if the value is not found, -1 is returned. So, there, the index of method returns the first one that will be found, while the last index of method will return the last one found. Now, so how do we do that in JavaScript? Okay, so ngayon, balik tayo sa notepad natin. Dadagdagan na lang natin yung code para hindi na tayo mag-i-start from the scratch. So, yun po, balik na tayo sa ating notepad. Okay, meron tayo ditong, gamitin na natin tong colors natin. So, meron tayong red, green, and blue. So, dagdag lang tayo dito ng additional line of codes. Now, I'm going to save this as another file para hindi naman matabunan yung ginawa natin kanina. So, save ko lang to as array example 2. Okay. Now, going back to the code, gamit tayo uli ng document.write. So, inside the document.write, tatawagin natin yung pangalan ng array natin. So, colors, yan. So, colors dot, sabi ko nga kanina, gagamit tayo ng index of. So, yung of natin, capital yung O. And then, inside, it's another parameter kung ano yung hahanapin natin na value. This time, hinahanap natin yung mismong value. Ibig sabihin ng value, ito yung red, green, at blue. So, for example, ilalagay ko sa loob ng ating quotation mark, ang hinahanap natin is green. No? Yan. So, ano yung magiging outcome nito? Since value yung hinanap natin. Pag-return ba nito is, pag-return ba nito is yung lalabas is yung green o yung element number. So, dito, hinahanap natin yung value na green. Now, magdadagdag lang ako dito ng line break ulit, guys, para hindi masyadong dikit-dikit yung ating, what you call this, yung ating mga elements, no? Okay. Alright, so, concatenate natin yung line break natin, yung BR natin, which is actually, mali pa tuloy, a comma. On this matter, it's a comma. So, we are expecting that this line will actually print which element. Since ito ay green, pang ilang element yung green natin? So, meron tayong 0, 1. So, it should print 1. Now, let's take a look kung yun ba yung magiging output ng ating code. Now, ito lang naman yung changes na ginawa natin. So, let's go back to our browser. Ayan. I-refresh ko lang. Ay, hindi pala pwedeng i-refresh. Kailangan palang i-open dahil pinalitan natin yung file ninyo. Okay, so, ayun na. Yung ating naging outcome is number 1. Red, green, and blue. Now, bakit ganito yung orientation ng printing ng ating document? Now, remember, yung pag-print ng ating red, green, and blue nangyari after ng declaration ng mga, what you call this? After ng declaration ng ating array. So, nangyari siya after nun. Kaya, nung nagsulat tayo ng code natin, after the declaration right away, lumabas dito agad yung number 1 na outcome. So, in this case, para hindi masyadong confusing siguro ay ilagay ko na lang siya together with the writing of values. No? Dito, i-add natin. Na-print ko na yung colors dito. So, ilalagay ko siya after the colors. No? So, kung ito, itong line na ito, line 15, line 18, and line 19 are printing the values of variable, this line, the last one that I created, is going to print the number of the element that you're looking for. So, in this case, hinahanap natin si green. Si green is the first element. So, that is why ang naging outcome niya ay 1 because siya yung first element ng array. Understood po? So, example naman, no, gagawin natin siya kay fruits. Okay. So, dito, papalitan lang natin siya. Tawagin natin si fruits. And then, kanina ang ginamit natin is yung, what do you call that? The first index of, no? So, siguro ang gawin naman natin is iba this time. Gagamitin natin yung last index naman ng array natin. So, parang ano to, we are going to search backward. Pero, before we do that, I wanted just to insert, how are you going to search forward? Like, starting at the from index and so on. Tignan natin, So, tinawag na natin itong fruits.indexOf. And then, dahil sa fruits na tayo, papalitan natin to. Siguro, gamitin natin yung orange naman. Okay. So, let's try and take a look if I type in here all capital letters, is our browser going to find out the orange in small letters? Now, in this case kasi, tinype ko sa loob ng quotation mark is the capital letter, pero yung value natin, naka-declare siya ng small letters lang. So, tingnan natin kung sa JavaScript ba ay strict when it comes to case, no, yung capital versus small letters. So, save natin ito. At ano ba yung magiging output nito? Supposedly, kung hindi pinapansin ni JavaScript yung case sensitivity. So, kung bibilangin natin by our eyes, ito yung 0, 1, 2, 3. So, orange is the third element on the list. Now, kung hindi niya, again, pinapansin yung case sensitivity ng code, dapat ang nag-print sa ating browser ay number 3. So, that's what we're gonna find out. Okay, let's go back to our browser. And then, let's refresh. Okay, as you can see, apple, banana, mango, orange, and papaya. After that, it prints -1. So, bakit kaya siya naging -1? Yung number 1, JavaScript is also case sensitive just like any other programming language, no? Ang problema natin dito, i-declare ko doon sa document.write ko na ang hinahanap ko ay orange. Tama naman, may orange dito, pero all capital letters yon. So, mangyayari is, hahanapin niya siya as if, and since the one that we have in our fruits array is a small letter, or small letters rather, hindi niya makikita yung orange na nilagay ko. So, it's gonna print -1, which means, hindi niya nakikita kung ano man yung value na hinahanap natin. So, that's what's gonna happen. Now, gamit naman tayo ng ibang way ng pag-search to an array. I mean, paano pa ba yung ibang ways namin to search to an array? So, siguro mag-add lang tayo dito na lang ako mag-declare ng additional array naman. Pero this time, puro numbers. At samahan ko din ng boolean value, no? So, papangalanan ko yung array ko ng ARR. So, sa loob nito, lalagay natin is 1, 0, 3, 1, tapos false, which is a boolean value, then 5, 1, 4, and then let's say 7. Okay, so semicolon. Now, what I wanted to do is to search forward starting from the negative index. No, so dito tatawagin ulit natin yung ating, dito ko na lang ilalagay after that. So, yung ating document.write, and then lagay lang siguro ko ng line break ng separator. Lagay lang ako ng separator before printing. Okay, tapos concatenate natin yung pangalan ng array natin, which is R, yung ginawa nating array, dot index of, tapos ayun, again, index of, and then followed by our parentheses. Yun, naalala ko na, it's parentheses. So, followed by parentheses. So, siguro, hanapin ko lang yung 1 and 2, no? So, ma'am, pwede pala yan. Hanapin yung dalawa na magkaibang values at the same time. Let's find out, no? Kasi, I just wanted to show you this thing before I actually say another thing. Alright, so meron tayo ditong line, document.write, yung ating separator plus yung ating array name, which is arr.index of, then 1 and 2. So, na on our array, nakikita natin na meron tayo dito number 1, 1, 2, 3, tatlong beses na meron tayong ganung klase na value. And then, we don't have actually number 2 here. No? Wala tayong number 2 dun sa ating value. And we know that for sure. Pero, what's gonna happen this time? ano yung magiging outcome ng ating JavaScript kapag ganito yung way natin of searching through an array. So let's go ahead and go back to our web browser and find out what's going to be the output. So yan, nagkaroon tayo ng output na number 3. No, hindi ko lang nalagyan ng line break after kasi kaya nakadikit siya sa red. So yung output natin is 3. So how is that possible? So kasi dito, nag-search tayo forward starting at from the negative index, which is dito ang ating element 0 is, ang ating 1, number 1 is the element 0, 0 is the number 1, 2, and 3. So, if you remember a while ago, kanina, nabanggit ko dun sa index of and last index of. Kapag nakita ng ating searching method, yung array na hinahanap natin, pag ulan yung beses na nakita yon, i-return niya, or pag once na nakita yan, i-return niya yung first index using the index of. And the last one is the last index of kung yun ang ginamit natin. So, in this case, ang naging output niya is 3. Why? Because ito yung 0, 1, 2, and 3. So, on this case, on the series of values, bakit hindi ito ma'am, itong pinaka-last na number 1? Kasi, after the number 1, nagkaroon ka ng ibang data type na value. So, gumamit dito tayo ng boolean. So, after that, nagkaroon na ng pag-stop sa paghahanap ng index si, anong tawag dito? Si index of after or before the false value. So, ang huli niyang nakita is on this element. So, meron tayo sa una at meron tayo sa huli. Before the false 5147. So, dahil iba na yung data type nito, nag-stop siyang mag-search from this element, which is number 3. So, dahil wala din naman tayong nakita ditong element na number 2, 3 lang yung naging outcome natin. E man, paano kung isinearch ko yung 1 at yung false? So, let's find out kung ano yung magiging outcome niya. No? So, on this case, on this case, naglalag pa yung aking cursor. So, on this case, nagkaroon tayo ng pag-search ng dalawang klase ng data type, which is 1 and false. Unfortunately, for this matter, hindi natin pwedeng gamitin yung magkaibang searching of values on just one line. So, we are going to use our searching through an array, line per line, using one value only. So, kung gusto mong maghanap ng multiple values na kakaibang line yung i-create mo to search through the array. So, that's how we are going to create script for JavaScript Array.